Mike's okay?
Yes, sir. We are live. We are live. We are back at it again. I am your host, James Garman.
This is Daniel White, ready to rock and roll on this beautiful Monday. We have 13 days till Christmas. I'll keep the countdown going, James.
Oh yeah. I mean, please, by all means, you can keep it going. I'm not even keeping up with it. So that's the.
Hey,
I'm gonna say that's the difference. I'm not even trying to keep up with it, man.
do you have a tie on this morning?
Of course.
Look at you,
Yeah, of
man.
course.
Man. I tried to change it up a little here today. I was like, I'm not gonna wear a sports coat or anything like that today.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was going to do a T-shirt, but I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and throw the tie and the jacket on this morning and see what I can come up with. And I think the lilac purple looks good on me.
Well, I'll wear the dark purple today.
At least we're actually we're in that same notion. Like purple was calling us this morning, so
Yeah.
that's all.
Two different states would even talk about that stuff, Like we're on the same page here. I mean, but I
Exactly.
am a little upset that you didn't wear that shirt that like presents your logo, and then you could say, "I'm really not marketing my company" or anything like that.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna do all the personal branding after the show, at the end
Mm,
or at the
mm.
end of the show. So, but yeah, man. Other than that, how's your weekend been?
Busy, man. Just really busy with everything. We had a nice little EXP banquet meeting here Friday, and then wrestling over the weekend, and then yesterday just trying to get everything in order and in line for the next week. Uh, Planning out your week can take a full day, and you don't realize how in debt it comes with making sure your meetings are in line, making sure that your tasks are set up, and all that good
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly.
And what's important, James, is bringing everything that you did not finish last week
Into
over
the
to
new
the
week. Yeah,
calendar.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. All right, before we get started, real quick, make sure if you're tuned in right now, and thank you, Dolores. Good morning to you as well, Destiny. Good morning. Hope you're enjoying your
Morning.
trip down to Miami. Listen, everybody, if you can, first things first, hit the like button, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hopefully you have, and you're supporting the channel. Jump in the chat, please. Be a part of the chat. We love when you're a part of the chat. It actually help us be more engaging to you, the audience, and ourselves. So yeah, definitely jump into the chat. Let us know how you're feeling this morning, everybody. And also, if you haven't, please share this to your other platforms, your Twitters, your Facebooks, anywhere, all places that you may be on when it comes to your social media presence. We would surely appreciate the support. So thank you all again, and we do appreciate you staying with us, sticking with us through this growth process, and it's been fun. I've really been enjoying it.
Normally I listen to podcasts and throughout the week and try to get better like you, James. But this week I actually listened to all of our 7 episodes prior to this,
Oh, really? Okay.
and it's just it's tough. It's tough to hear yourself. It is very tough to hear yourself. More difficult than what everybody else is hearing right now, right?
Right, right.
It's difficult because you're like, oh man, I sound squeaky there. This is a little rough. Oh, I could have said this, but
Don't be so
again,
hard on yourself, man.
like you just said though, James, we appreciate everyone that is sticking with us, because we know who the true soldiers are. You
Exactly.
know, so
And again, it's a process. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing here, is to grow with the process and figuring out what works and what doesn't. So for us, I think we have a good chemistry. I think we have a good dialect between the two of us. Our conversation flows really well. That's one of the biggest things that I hear about our dynamic, is that our conversation flows really, really well. So I'm excited to see what we do for the next
2023,
year.
right?
Yeah, man. Yes, yes, indeed,
Well,
indeed.
what about your weekend?
My weekend
Any
was full.
traveling?
No traveling for me. Actually, this past weekend was really more of a homebound situation. I wanted to kind of stay at the house, start to figure out the future of my growth, my business growth, as my personal goals, family goals, everything in that nature.
Sure.
Just trying to lay everything out so I can start to process, and then start to actually become more active in the goals and the things that I'm trying to set forth for my future. So that's pretty much my weekend. Watched a couple games. Other than that, it's been really lax, man. It's been really lax.
James, when you set your goals and all that stuff, do you set rewards and punishments?
I haven't set punishments. I know we've talked about that before. My rewards, just my reward base is just comes down to me self. My gratification comes from just completing my goals. So I don't give myself excessive rewards outside of just that. But that's definitely something that I need to start to ponder more around when it comes to setting my goals and being more goal oriented.
This coming year 2023, I normally set a punishment if I don't make the goal, and it's like mow my neighbor's yard,
Right.
wash all the cars, all that great stuff. But this year, if I don't hit any one of my goals throughout, like if it's a quarter goal, if it's a 6 month goal, if it's a year goal, stuff like that.
Got you.
I was thinking about it yesterday driving when you and I didn't have our meeting in the morning, and I was gonna go look at a house. Um, I was like, man, mowing my neighbor's yard, they benefit.
Right.
Washing the cars, the kids and the wife benefit from that stuff, right? So, I thought what would be a cool punishment would be is that if I don't hit my quarterly goal, you're going to see a video of me walking the beach. I love the beach. It's one of my favorite spots in the entire world.
Right.
And I'll just clean the beach. Just
Whoa.
walk down the beach for 2 or 3 miles, come back 2 or 3 miles, and just clean up trash and all of that stuff. So
That's
that's going to be
amazing.
my punishment for 2023. And I don't want to fail, but if I do fail, I'll be in a happy place.
Exactly.
Not necessarily picking up trash, but I'll be doing a good thing.
Exactly. And honestly, man, I must say, that's I love the fact that you're willing to give back to our economy. Helping with the green ordeal and everything like that, and making sure that our planet doesn't pollute itself, and giving back by just cleaning up your community and places you love to go. That's awesome, man. I actually need to be more involved in doing stuff like that as well. So I thank you for that, because it definitely, I need to start getting out there and doing my part when it comes to making sure our planet is clean and safe, man.
Yeah. Well, you can always come and stay with me. I have an extra bedroom, James.
Got you. Oh, so I am drinking my coffee this morning. I don't know about you. You get your coffee?
I did, man. I did. I
Awesome.
did. I did.
So with the coffee, man, my wife, she's pretty much got me on keto coffee, which is butter and MCT oil and coconut oil. And I was actually skeptic about it.
That's why your skin looks so good.
Yeah, man, she like shiny, bro. And I was really skeptic about the coffee, but it tastes really good without having to put all the other stuff in it. So I'm
So
actually appreciating it.
yeah. So the first cup always I put French vanilla creamer in it. We're not getting paid for that,
Yeah.
but it is the best creamer in the world. And then after that, then it's just black coffee at that point.
Got you.
So I guess I got to have a little bit of that sugar and all that stuff. But yeah, I've heard about the butter in coffee. I've never tried it, but all right, I'm gonna take your word for it, James.
I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing, man. I wasn't expecting for it to be that good myself. But overall it's definitely tasty, man. So
Nice.
so today we're getting into the conversation of talking about being recession proof, and a lot of people may not understand exactly what a recession proof means, and we're not strictly talking about not being affected by recession or a recession, but it's how to prevent yourself from being caught up in the recession to the point where you lose everything, which a lot of people can and have and may continue in the future to lose a lot, from homes, cars, finances, 401ks, IRAs, different all forms of finances. Recessions do not discriminate. Me personally, I don't think they do. I think a recession happens on a larger scale where any and everybody can have a downfall if they don't prepare themselves properly.
I actually have a meaning for recession proof when we said we were going to talk about this here today. Should I read it?
Yeah, by all means, let's hear it.
Awesome. All right. Recession proof refers to assets, companies, industries, or other entities that do not decline in value during a recession or decline less than the broader market. So, you know, James, when you and I talked about this yesterday and said we were going to have a conversation about it, and I think we said, um, this is a shaky grounds for some people. Some people get really, really scared. I want to say that we've been here before, right? Like
Yep.
it's happened before. My wife always says everything's in a circle. Everything's in a circle. It all comes full circle, all of that stuff. So we've been here before. So we all just need to take a deep breath, and then James and I are going to talk about some things. We're not financial advisors. These are things that James and I do for our families. Doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, but it hopefully at the end of today, it'll, make you sit back, take a deep breath, think about some things, and then, maybe better protect yourself, right?
Totally, totally. I mean, when it comes down to it, I think most people think that, there's an easy way out of a situation. I think the biggest perspective of it all is to not go into it hard. You shouldn't be going into any situation hard. You should already be easing your way into recession proof. Because again, this is not something that you can just do overnight. This is a slow process. It is a slow succession to getting yourself into a position where you're not, you're not losing a lot, and
No,
you're not gaining everything, but you're keeping yourself stable. That's the goal, is to keep yourself stable through these situations.
no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And whether you're a business owner or you're an employee, it is right now, to analyze everything, right? If you haven't in the past, and this is maybe your first recession, the first recession that you've come across, because maybe, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years ago, whatever it may have been, you just may not have paid attention, right?
Right.
But I think for me, I'm at that point where I've got kids, I've got a business, I've got employees, and I'm like, okay, right? Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
And I think right now that is key, is slow and steady. Um, you know, we have, if you're a business owner, and you're going to see, right, and we can talk, that you hear everybody say, oh man, James is killing it right now. Sally's killing it right now.
Exactly.
Oh man, how are they doing that? How are they doing that? And as a business owner, like for me, I'm focused. I'm not jumping onto crazy new things right now. I'm like, I know what works. Let's stay dialed in. Let's not worry about all the hype and everything, because I think interest rates are going up again Wednesday. So when it comes to the business, you're going to see in a year or so, those people, you're not going to know who, not you, James, but you're not going to know who that James is. You're not going to know who Sally is. Who are you talking
Exactly.
about? Right? The business owners or the individuals that are smart right now, that just slow and steady, don't go out and spend anything, just watch and see what happens, I think will end up being better at the end.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I mean, you have to stick to what's working. Don't try to go so far left. Don't try to go so far right. Right. So my thing is, what a lot of people fail to realize in these situations is that when it comes down to a recession, is that it's not always a bad thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. Excuse me, coffee. It's going to be a lot of people who lose a lot. It's going to be a lot of people who didn't prepare properly. The thing to do is to predict when a recession is going to happen, to prepare for it. And then on top of that, you have to then put yourself in a situation to execute, because there's going to be a time in a recession where you can make a lot of money. With that being said, A couple of ways you can make a lot of money is by real estate. Real estate is one of the biggest things. Of course, we're real estate agents, but one of the biggest things you can do to make money during a recession is invest in real estate, because a lot of things are going to be on sale. Everything is going to be on sale. Like if you can look at the market right now compared to where the market was 6-7 months ago, you can already see 10-20% discounts on these sales. There was a lot of homes that sold in a certain area for a certain price. Let's say downtown Tampa, right? Say for instance, prices down in downtown Tampa 6 months ago for a 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bed, 2 bath house was roughly 340,000, right? Decent home. Now let's say you can get that home, the exact same home that was marketed at 340, 345 6 months ago. You can now get those homes for 290, 280, 300. Like you're saving $30,000 and $40,000 on a property that's going to regain that value in the future. It's guaranteed that these homes are going to regain their value in the future. That's the housing market for you. So you have to look at it that way. Right now, there's a lot of stocks that are on sale. You know, the big stocks that you can trust in, just companies, utility companies, everything that you people are still going to need during a recession. You can purchase now at a discounted price. But once the recession really hits everyone, you're going to be able to benefit off of that other people lost. So that's just part of the game. Now, I understand people are like, hey, I don't want to take advantage. You have to take advantage. We're in a game that you take advantage of opportunities. And if you don't take advantage of the opportunities that are presented during a recession, you're going to just be another person that is lost in the sauce. And I don't want to be lost in the sauce. I want to make sure once the recession is over, me and my family, the people I care about, are good.
Lost in the sauce, December 12th at 7:07. We're going to mark that, James. All right. Dave, not only did we wear the same colors and all that good stuff, right, today, but I think you set me up there for a good segue when it comes to this good stuff here, because I want to go back to the housing market that you just spoke about.
Exactly.
Downtown Tampa. There's probably somebody out there listening to us right now that says, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 350,000. No way in downtown Tampa. Those were $500,000. Regardless,
right.
We don't care about the price right now. We're just talking about the values of these homes and what was happening 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Exactly.
Right. And you said it absolutely right. At that point, that house could be listed for $350,000.
Mm-hmm.
The key then, or what people are missing right now, is that at that time we had 20, 30, 40 offers on the table.
Easily.
Like, you had to know somebody that knew somebody that had that house that may have been related to that person to just get a deal done, right?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, how many chocolates or champagne bottles or tequila bottles do you have to send to somebody to get a deal accepted? That's how crazy it was, right? So we're beyond that now, right? That's no longer the case. You can look at the market right now here in Florida, and the average days on the market from 6 months ago, where it was like 6 to 10 days. Now we could be at 60 to 90 days. And yes, there are areas that are sitting there that as soon as you put it on the market, they're gone, right? Beach, Dunedin, St. Pete, some areas in Orlando, stuff like that. It's happening.
It's happening everywhere.
It is, So what I suggest is, I think on Friday, interest rates 5.8%, depending on your credit score, all that stuff. But right now, you could go with your potential buyers, and I would say anybody that is renting right now that has a credit score, well, you tell me, James, right? 580, you could
580.
580, you could probably get them to 620 in what?
3 to 4 months.
Exactly. And what's the average rent right now in your area? I know for me,
17 to 22.
Okay. So in my neighborhood right now, there's a lady down the street that's renting her house. She asked me to be her property manager. I'm like, no, don't want any part of that. But I think she's gonna rent it out for $2,700, $2,800. I'm like, If somebody is renting a house for 27, $2,800,
And imagine, whew,
it's just crazy. Like, call your local realtor, right? Simple as that. Like, start speaking to somebody. Just let them throw things out there. Most realtors, brokers, they have a preferred lender, somebody that they're probably close with. They can work with you, all of that good stuff. But yeah, my thing right now for the buyers that I have, I'm like, listen, right now is the time for you to go out there and buy that house. We heard this. I can't accept responsibility for the saying, but remember, you're you're marrying the house, you're dating the interest rate,
yep,
right?
indeed.
So, and in that case, right, you don't have 40 people on top of one offer right now or one piece of property. Like, there is some negotiation happening. Before, we were not negotiating. It was send me your highest and best offer. How many times did you hear that 6 months ago, 8 months ago, James?
My highest and best on a $330,000 house would have been 360.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been looking like, 6 months ago. $30,000 over asking. But again, like you said, we're not in that situation no more. And now that we're in a situation where people actually have the opportunity to invest and get homes and things on discount. Stocks, as I mentioned again, is still a great thing to get on discount because people are selling to make sure they have the cash. During a recession, the thing you want to have is cash. You want to have a cash. Right now, if they're talking about a recession, it's going to happen. Well, I want you to damn well believe that we're already in it. We're already in a recession if they're talking about preparing for a recession. The people who are not preparing for the recession or don't know that we're already in one, when a recession happens, we are halfway through it and you're going to be on your way out the door losing majority of the shit you own. So I guess that's what people fail to realize when it comes to these situations about a recession is that it has to happen. A recession has to happen. We
No,
have
it resets things, right?
right.
It's like the red tide. It's like the red tide, right?
Exactly.
It, it has to filter.
It has to happen. People think that a recession is a bad thing. The bad thing was, and it was a great time, but the bad thing was having our federal government not have any interest rates on all the money that we were spending. We went from 0% interest rate on all the money that was lent out by the Federal Reserve to now we have 5, 8, 9, 10% interest rates on all the money that has been shipped out, and now they're coming back for what's owed to them. Okay, so I know we all want to say, well, the Federal Reserve is they just print money. I don't give a damn how they do it. It's done, and they want their interest on that money, and it's going to be paid by us as a economy. Not and it's crazy because I think a lot of people think that it's just America that's going to go through a recession. It's not. It's a global recession because the American dollar is the staple of this economy. So when people need to do financial exchanges on their dollar to try to save money, so that just imagine a person in Russia or a person in Germany wants to purchase a property over here in America, they can't just use their euros. They have to exchange their money for American dollars. And then if everybody is going through a recession and the euro is way less than what it was a year or two ago, then they have to spend more euros to exchange that money to purchase homes over here. So it affects everybody globally. And I don't think everybody understands that.
No, I think you said it absolutely right. I think you painted a pretty picture for everybody to fully understand, right? I would say that, we talked about the housing and you also talked about like investing and stuff like that. For me, right now, I call them value stocks. Value stocks for me are your Apple, your Amazon, your Walmart, stuff like that. Those are value stocks. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they've been around for years and years. I
And
really I don't see those people going
right.
anywhere.
I mean, and again, like you said, value stocks, a lot of people call them consumer staples in the
Yeah,
world. The stocks that people is going to need. People going to always want to keep their house clean. People always want to make sure they got the cleaning supplies. So why not invest in Clorox?
yeah,
Tide or some type of Dawn. Like these companies.
Do you think Clorox and Dawn put some type of chemical in there to keep kids away? Because like my kids have a really tough time picking that stuff up, James.
Listen, I totally agree with that. Honestly, last night, just a quick story. Last night, we was all in the dining room, me, my wife, and my daughter, and we was all in there just hanging out. And out of the blue, my daughter got up and she started washing dishes. It's like I was kind of shocked. It was like, is she washing dishes? You know, like, but yeah, she really literally. I didn't have to tell her, and it was pretty an amazing moment, just to talk about that situation. But overall, I do think they put some type of teenage repellent in the dishwashing detergent or dishwashing liquid, or hell, even in a dishwasher. It's something that's a repellent to these children these days. So
Yeah, man, it's funny, but it's those tiny little things like when they do something like that, you're like, all right, I'll forget the 10 bad things that you did over the last 10 days, or the rolling of the eyes or something like that,
yeah, yeah.
or the stop all, it's the body language. Sometimes you'll have a conversation, you're like, maybe that didn't go so well, but yeah.
So I got a question for the chat. If anyone in the chat wants to chime in, jump in the chat and let us know if there is anything that you would consider being recession proof. And do you have any idea of what a recession proof industry looks like? Something that something that you think you can make money off of during this recession time. And remember, this recession is already happening. They're teasing it, but if they're teasing it, that means it's already happening. So just give us an idea of what you think a recession proof industry looks like, or one of these recession proof industries look like.
James, a perfect example of that, right? If people are like, it's not happening, or yes, it's happening, right? Because it's always going to be split. Go to Google, type in recession, see what pulls up. There's 9 million different pages to choose from. Not that many, but
Probably that many.
yeah, but it's there, right? Like, I mean, if we are talking about, 8 months ago, housing market, you type in housing market, there's 9 million pages of housing market and why it's crazy right now and why you should buy and all that stuff. So
Exactly.
I mean, it's happening. It's there. So I'm saying the proof is in the pudding. Basically, it's there.
So for me, I think one of the things people need to start preparing for, at least for what I consider to be a discounted market, is to at least be ready to purchase one house a year. As an investor, if you want to get into investing, approach this situation to buy at least one house a year. And a recession normally lasts 36 to 48 months from the actual announcement of the recession that we are in one. So right now, if you look at it, it'll be a great time to start purchasing one. So by the time they actually announce that it's an actual recession, then you will actually be one of the people who has a great deal on the property by the time the middle part of the recession, which should be the next 12 months after they announce it. Then you can have your second property, and then from there you can go on to your third property by the second year of the recession. And at the third year of the recession, once the recession starts to hit its peak and we start to bounce back to a normal reality when it comes to our finances, then you can start to say, okay, I'm buying my final property, and things should start looking to have a turnaround within that 36 to 48 months period.
James, I think that's a great idea. And I would say, you know what, anyone listening to the show right now, hire a professional, hire a realtor, hire a broker, let him or her analyze a deal, look at it. What was the house in this area fixed up, looking good? What was it going for 6-8 months ago?
Yep.
Right? Because like you said, things will come around.
Yep.
As my wife would say, it comes around full circle, right? So it's a great time if you get the deal, right? If you get a good deal in, I've got a couple of investors that I work with as well. And, if we see a property at 250, well, why not throw out 200,000? Maybe that investor, maybe that person was a first time investor, and he or she is, just didn't have any professional help, right?
Yep.
And they're like right there, right now. They're like, oh my God, I don't have another $10,000 to spend on this property. all right, I thought I was going to make $50,000. I'll make 10,000 and I'll just get rid of it. And I don't have to worry about it right now. So, it, I think one a year is definitely a good thing. I'm ready. You ready? Let's go. I need to drive to Georgia. Where are we buying the first one, Jim? All right.
Listen, to me, it doesn't make any difference. I just want to make sure that I have my foot in the game. I just want to make sure that my coins are spent and we are in the game making things happen, So for me, yeah, man, whether it's Florida or Georgia, I'm totally with it. Whether it's a long-term or short-term rental property, people have to realize that that's passive income that's going to be coming in. And also make sure you check on your properties once you purchase them as well. If you're going to be one of those people who buy a property in another state and you don't want to hire a property manager and you're letting people stay in your homes and not keeping up with and how they're treating your property, you could be in trouble. So, and again, Danny, I know you mentioned a minute ago the lady down the street said she was looking for a property manager. Well, listen, I'm starting my own property management business, which is very lucrative right now. So if you want to send her information my way, I sure in the hell won't mind.
You can have it, my friend. It's all you, my friend. It's all you, right?
Yeah, I mean, because again, just even let's talk about real estate agents real quick. Like the agents that are going through this recession or this downturn in the market, who thinks it's a downturn in the market. That's the thing about it. It's like, is it really a downturn in the market? I mean, for you, how many buyers do you have right now? Five. Right now we have five. We have five, well, six buyers and a seller buyer. So we have about 7 overall possibilities in the market right now. Is it going to be hard for us to find these people properties? No, it's not. It's not hard to find properties right now.
Quality, maybe, but you'll be able to find the properties. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, the properties are there. You know what I'm saying? So you don't actually, they have too many choices right now that they could shop for an extra 30 days. They don't actually have to buy the first thing that they see. But the goal is to keep your pipeline filled. Fill up your pipeline with possibilities and potential clients so you can continuously work on yourself and your business through these downturns. The agents that are not making moves right now and saying that they can't get any deals done, or the agents that are really just sitting on their hands, not making the moves that is necessary to be made to actually get deals done. That's
Jim,
the thing.
What about this, right? You just said it. You just said it, man. It like just triggered something. So there are potential buyers out there right now that they are on the brakes. The brake pedal is all the way down to the metal, right? As they say, right? Like they are not moving. That's okay. Make sure that you get in front of them. Make sure that you are relevant in their lives. You're keeping up with them. You're sending them marketing analysis, right? Then maybe they don't want to buy right now. Maybe they want to buy in 6 months. Maybe they want to sit and look and, hey, we've been here. We've done this before. We're going to sit. That's fine. But the people that are paying 25, 22, 25, 26, 27, $3,000 a month in rent to make somebody else, let's just call it rich, right?
Exactly.
Let's get you into that position where now you can build equity for your family. Again, we're marrying the house, we're dating the interest rate. Everything we're talking about comes around, right? At some point, you could refinance, keep your nose clean, pay your bills, get rid of your debt, pay your mortgage on time, pay your car note on time, refinance when the rate changes, and now you've got more equity in your house, and you're putting yourself in a better position for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road.
Totally agree. I think what people are most afraid of, and I'm gonna share a quick story with you as well. Most people are afraid of the fact that they think a 7% interest rate is ridiculous, right? Not fully understanding that that's only an extra $200-300 on your mortgage. It's not like if you would have bought your house at 5.5, it's not like there's going to be a $3,000 difference in your mortgage rate at 6.5 or 7%. At the max, $400, $500. That's still, let's say, for instance, if you're not trying to live above your means, if your goal is to live in a house and stop renting that little 800 square foot apartment, and if you are spending $1,900 right now on an 800 square foot apartment. I think I'd rather have a 12 to 1,500 square foot house that I'm only spending 1,700 at the max $1,900 a month for. That's my outlook on it, because I'm getting a bigger house, I'm getting my own space, and I'm getting owner's equity in this versus if your goal is to rent because you ain't got to fix the water heater when it breaks, then yeah, you don't need to buy a house. Go keep renting from a person.
Get a home warranty.
Listen, and I agree with that. But let's say that it's at the top of their budget with an extra $25 a month. So they already afraid of the high interest rate. So of course they're going to be afraid of an extra $25 a month, right? So if you're afraid to fix your own issues in your property if something happens, so that's what happens when you become owner. Like if you was to rent a car and the engine blows up, all you have to do is just take the car back to the rental place, and they'll just swap you out with another one. I get it, but you don't own it. But so that means you don't have to deal with the things that are happening with this house or this car or this property or whatever it is you owning. But the situation is that after you spend all of that money, and after you take that car run that car into the ground, or run that house into apartment into the ground, and the landlord says they're going to stop fixing things until you move out, because that's what happens. They stop fixing stuff and wait for you to move out, and they'll renovate the whole house and then jack the rent up. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You're definitely right.
So my thing is
landlords, but I mean that's what they're going to do.
That's what they do. So why not go ahead and take that exact same amount of money, or if
not under
or
your
less
property management though?
No, not under mine. No, not under mine. Why not go ahead and take that exact same amount, and maybe even less, to go ahead and own your own property, to go ahead and own what you can consider an investment for the future. I had a young lady that I met yesterday when I was out, and she pretty much told me that she wanted to rent, because I don't know, always lead with the conversation that I'm a realtor. But it always comes down when I'm having a conversation with someone. It's like, hey, what do you do? Maybe because it's the car I'm driving or the way I'm dressed. I don't know. But it's always a conversation that happens. Hey, what do you do? Well, I'm a real estate agent. Oh, really? Well, I'm looking to rent another property. Do you deal in rentals? Yeah, I deal with rentals. But let me ask you why you're not trying to buy. What's your issue with buying the property? Because right now, if you look at it, it's a more tedious process to rent a property than it is right now to buy one. If you look at the process, they want 3 extra rent. You got to make 3 times your monthly rent. How many people make 3 times the monthly rent? Yeah. 3 times. The average person don't make 3 times their monthly rent. Then on top of that, they're asking you for first month, last month, and a deposit. So
if you have a pet, probably an extra $150, $200 more a month. Right?
Exactly, right? So with that being said, you're looking to spend a roughly $4,500 to $6,000 to move into that apartment. To move into an apartment, it literally costs you less than that to purchase a house that costs $230,000, $40,000, $50,000. If you can find those value homes, and you can right now. So to spend, you're going to, and let's not talk about if you have, like you said, hometown heroes, or what we call here Georgia Dream, where they cover your down payment, and all you have to cover is your closing costs. I literally bought a 24-year-old young lady and her daughter buy their first house just this past year for $220,000 with a down payment assistance program. All she had to come out of her pocket with was $2,200. $2,200, and she moved into her own home. Like, people don't have that information. That's the thing. People think, but they don't ask. And then when they ask, they don't fully process, or they get the wrong information because they asked the wrong person. So like the young lady said, well, I thought it was going to cost me $15,000 to move into my house. No, it doesn't cost anyone $15,000 to move into their house unless they want a conventional loan, because they don't want to deal with the FHA or the VA or whatever type of loan where you have the homeowner's insurance and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you don't have 10, 20K laying around to put 20% down so you can have more equity into your home, there's FHA loans, there's USDA loans. There are programs out there that help you with down payment assistance. You do not have to go into these processes thinking that you need $10,000, $15,000 to purchase a home.
And just pick up the phone and call somebody. Like, just ask. Let us lay it out for you. Let us put it down on paper, give you an idea, so that way you're not just speculating. I think a lot of times we all just speculate. Oh, that's too expensive. I can't do that. I can't
Exactly.
put that down payment. I've got this closing cost, all of that stuff. Stop speculating. When you need your carpet clean, you hire a professional,
You
right?
hire a
You don't hire
professional.
your neighbor, right? When you are renting, you go to a leasing office of an apartment complex. That professional, he or she, will go over everything, outline everything.
Exactly.
If you don't have a house right now, right, and you are paying $2,000 a month, but you've never spoken to a realtor or a broker or a professional about the real estate, let him or her lay it out for you. Like I said, most of our realtors, most of our brokers have a preferred lender. If you don't have such good credit, we know a credit specialist can help you, right?
Indeed.
And get you on that path to purchase that home, right? So, um, it's scary that people are scared, or should I say, James? And I think we've said this before. They just get comfortable and
Yeah.
just continue to pay on and continue to. It's like
I
an
mean,
electric bill or
right.
a water bill.
It's a lifelong commitment to something that you don't need a lifelong commitment to. I've known people that have lived in apartments their whole life, 25 plus years. Right there, it's like I in the same neighborhood in the same little apartment complexes for 20. I don't think apartments are supposed to be a forever placement unless you're going into a senior citizens apartment complex where it's the last 10 years of your life and you like, I don't want to deal with the overhead. Or if you have a condominium or something like that that is it's like super nice and it's like at the very top of the building, like the last 5 to 10 floors of the building. But I don't think apartment living should be the end all goal for everybody, but I think due to the fact that they didn't have the necessary information and knowledge to actually purchase a home or to how to go about it, that they're afraid, as you mentioned, they're just afraid. I think the only thing you should be afraid of and the only thing you should be scared of is not preparing yourself properly for the downturn of our economy. That's what you should be afraid of, because let me tell you what's going to happen with the downturn of our economy. You're going to have layoffs, right? Then with layoffs, what do you have? Foreclosures. Then with foreclosures, what do you have? Homelessness. And with homelessness, what you have? Stress. And stress turns into possibly even drug use or alcohol abuse. And then you have violence. And then you have crime. And then with crime, you have chaos. All of this is going to happen because it's a process.
Yeah.
The more people you have losing their homes, the more people that are living on the streets, the more people that are out of the necessities to actually live and have a comfortable life turn to drugs and crime, and that drug and crime comes knocking at your front door, at your apartments, or wherever you live in that is not conducive in the sense of an economy. So some places I would not want to live during a recession, and that's the inner city of any city. During a recession, I don't want to be living in the inner city of any city. I don't care what city it is,
Yeah.
because the thing about it is, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. That's just what it is. So you have to start thinking about your future. You have to start thinking about your kids. You have to start thinking about your financial stability. And the only way you can do that is by listening to what people like me and Daniel are saying when it comes to investing your money properly. And the best way to invest your money properly is to invest it in real estate, consumer staples, things that can actually make you money during a downturn of an economy. Make sure you have your cash. Whatever you're buying right now, whatever you're spending your extra funds on right now, stop spending your money on BS, because that money could be going towards something that could actually be useful in the long term of this situation.
And that's a tough thing right now, especially during the holidays with Christmas and all that stuff. you know, set yourself a budget, right? Stop. It's not last year. It's 2022 headed into 2023,
Yep.
and things are unexpected. Like, we don't know, right? Like, we all think we know, we don't
We
know.
don't know.
So,
Yeah, we don't
like you
know.
just said, have some cash, have some reserves there, right? look at, if you're paying rent somewhere else, set your goal. You want to purchase a house, right? Those value stocks, you still want to be diverse. I mean, in a recession, James, you invest properly,
properly.
you could make some serious money,
Some
right?
serious, some
You can
serious
make some
coin.
serious money, right? If not, just go look at Warren Buffett, right? I mean, go back. I don't know, how old is he now? 90? I
90,
have no
yeah,
idea.
go back 40, 50 years and see how many times he's won during a recession.
Absolutely. He's won more than he's lost. I can
Exactly.
promise you that. He's lost because we all lose, but
Right.
he's won as well. So I I don't necessarily want to say, like, go into some risky stocks, but the value stocks, having some cash. If you're renting right now, it's definitely a time to start looking to purchase that house, because you don't have a ton of, you don't have 50 offers on the table for every
Exactly.
single deal, right? Um, if you're a business owner, again, if you want to be around and relevant in the future, hold your ground, stay steady, keep pushing forward, right? Have those meetings, have those trainings with your employees and stuff like that. Not necessarily the time tr- to try the next big thing,
Right.
in my opinion, right? Somebody would probably tell me I'm wrong,
No,
but
you're right. You're totally right. Yeah,
don't
honestly.
don't go too far left, too far right, like you said, James, in your business. No, you've steadied the course, you're on the tracks, you're moving forward, slow and steady. And at the end, I do believe, if you stay that course, I do believe that you are going to be better than your competitors when we come around this circle here with the
Yep.
recession.
Exactly. And again, when it comes down to what, like you were stating, business, don't expand. Don't expand right now. Don't during the next year and a half. Don't try to do a massive expansion unless your business truly calls for it. Try to stay where you currently are. Try to keep your overhead down with your business. Not try to put too much more workload on your people. But if you have to, give them some incentive. Give them a raise instead of hiring two new people and having to pay them 22 dollars an hour. Just give your current employees a boost to take on a little extra overload of work to try to help them feel more comfortable with what you're asking them to be tasked with. So don't try to make a massive expansion over the next 36 to 48 months. A lot of people also don't realize, now that we're talking to business, is that the consumer, the personal and the consumer based loan structure is pretty much dead right now. It'll be harder to get a personal loan than there has ever been, like during these times. Now, I don't know if a lot of people out there remember, and I'm pretty sure you've gotten a lot of these envelopes in your mail, but there was always an envelope coming to my house that was saying, "Hey, a personal loan for 5,000, personal
Yeah.
loan for 2,000, or hey, you've been pre-approved for this credit limit of 2,500." Or even my daughter, who's just 16, they was sending her, because she's an authorized user on my credit card, "Hey, get a $500 credit card limit." The personal loan structure just a year ago was so massive that they was just giving money to people to go out here and spend more money before the inflation and all the interest rates hiked. Now that has stopped. It stopped
It was a
because,
sales tactic. I
right,
mean, they
exactly.
hook, line, and sinker. That's
Hook
exactly
line,
what they did.
exactly. It's a repetitive situation. But now what you have to look at is the other side. Okay, they fed the consumers. Now they're feeding the business side of loans. Business loans are the least touched and the least accessible loans in the world, because people focus more on their personal credit versus their business credit. Now you're going to start seeing every week there's 5 or 6 business loan, 30,000, 50,000 business loan applications or credit cards coming in the mail, because those are easier to get during a recession, because they want people to be able to fund their businesses, because they don't want businesses to suffer. But when it's not a recession, or doing the consumer side, they don't mind giving the consumers the money to go out there and constantly constantly spend that money at these businesses. But now we are headed and we're now in a recession. They are going to start feeding the businesses funds. Now, I personally say, take advantage of this. If your business credit is good, if you have if you actually have assets in your business that you're trying to purchase that is going to not depreciate when you purchase them, but actually benefit you and gain value, do that. You can also use your business to purchase real estate. You can use your business to purchase other elements or other assets during a recession. So think about that. Focus on that, because the business side of financing is going to be heavy. It's going to be just as hectic and just as crazy and overloaded, just like they did the consumer side before the recession.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's funny how that works, but now that we just talked about it, the people that are listening or listen to the recording here will be like, man, he's right. They're right. Like, you get all the personal credit when everything's going. Now that's recession. Now they're going to target the business owners and all of that stuff. So,
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. And so, just real quick before we get up out of here, I know we got to leave, but keep yourself cash heavy, which means if you've maxed out your credit cards, don't try to pay your credit cards off every month. Just being honest. Personal credit is going to be in the ground. If you're not looking to purchase a house, if you already have your house purchased, there's no need to pay off your credit cards every month. It doesn't make sense. What you can do is just pay the bare minimum, keep yourself cash heavy, so you can have that backup funds. Because I wouldn't want you to try to go and use your little credit cards when situations happen. That's a personal suggestion. It's not a financial suggestion. You do what you want, but I wouldn't be trying to pay off $2,500 credit cards. I just pay the bare minimum and just keep it moving and keep that extra money in my savings or to the side or invest in something else, versus trying to pay off a credit card at this point.
And even maybe just stop using the credit card.
Stop using it, of course. Stop using them, of course. But yeah, but for the people that think, oh, I got to keep my personal credit great. Listen, credit utilization can always go down. But if you're not worried about using your credit, your 720 credit right now, which I suggest you not to use your credit during a recession, don't worry about paying down your credit card utilization until this recession is over and you're trying to do something else. Just keep the minimum payments or pay close to the minimum as possible, as long as it's above it. But stop using it. Cut them up if you need to. Go slice them. But
how funny, James. You said 6 months ago, 12 months ago, stuff like that. We are getting all these advertisements and everything inside our mailboxes for personal loans, right? Mm-hmm. And so now it's shifted over to businesses, mm-hmm. right? Well, what's even funnier, like on that, and I didn't even think about it until I started analyzing this conversation here in the last 30 seconds. Hey, you're not using your card as much anymore. Instead of 1 point for every dollar spent, now we'll give you 2 points. And for the next 90 days, we'll give you like 3 points per dollar, stuff like that. Yeah. Right?
That's crazy.
I just thought about it because I just got one in the mail with my credit card. They're like, oh, please come back. We don't know if you've used somebody else,
right?
Or some crazy kind of gimmick or something like that. But they're like, yeah, for the next 90 days, you'll get 3% on travel. And
gas and purchase. Yeah. So they try to use all kind of tactics to keep you using those cards. My thing is, again, don't use them at all during this time. Just keep yourself cash heavy and pay the minimum on your credit cards whenever you can, and start a business whenever you can, and figure that part out. Figure that business side out.
Yep. Yeah, I love it all, man. I love it all. James, what is this? Whose birthday is it?
It's my daughter's birthday coming up. And 1 day, actually, no, 2 days, December 14th, she would officially turn 17 years old. So it's time for her to start paying all her own bills, start grocery shopping on her own. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, my baby's turning 17, and yeah, we got a nice little weekend set up for her. She doesn't want to do anything actually on her birthday. She just want her and her friends to hang out pretty much this weekend. So that's what we set up. So
I got you. I got you, man. I like
something
it.
something about these kids that want to keep us broke with the holidays and birthdays. But I let her know it's like we're in a recession. I'm not spending tons of
That's
money
right.
on you.
That's
It's
right.
not happening. It's not
No,
happening.
she's listening right now, James. She
She
already knows
probably
you're
is. She probably is
she
listening
already
right
knows
now.
you're cash heavy. You're cash heavy, buddy.
Well, listen, Daniel, it's always a pleasure, man. I definitely love doing this show with you, and I hope everybody enjoyed this morning's podcast. Thanks to everybody that tuned in today. We was up to 30 concurrent viewers. We actually at 29 right now, so please hit that like button. Again, jump in the chat next time. Let us know that you're here rocking with us. And yeah, let's keep rocking. Let's keep moving. And again, Daniel, until next time, man. Thanks for being a part of the closing table, man. It's always a pleasure.
James, love you, brother.